Hello dear chess friends, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while because I was playing this Chessable Masters Magnus Carlsen Tour event, and I would like to start with the games from it. We'll start with my games. After finishing my games, I will immediately jump to the other games that are played now, maybe some matches or some games that I pick from there, and show you the best moments, I think, from this game. So for now, I will do all of my games in this tournament, because certainly for me it's easier to explain things on my games as I understand what was happening and what kind of play was it, emotions during the game, the time, and all that stuff. So all the decisions taken and so on. It's much easier, I mean, to comment on your own games and simply just explain what was happening, especially that you're one of the sides. So let's see, it all started with the game against Nepo, and so let's see what happened in that game. So let me flip the board. Yeah, so let's go. So he played d4. Yeah, I remind you that the games are played with a control of 15 minutes plus 10 seconds per game. Yeah, so it's quite comfortable control for the, you know, to keep the quality still quite high and make you know, all this blunders as well. There is plenty of time to think, but certainly it's a fast game anyway, and especially when you're concentrated, the time runs so fast. So let's see. Yeah. So d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6. So starting with these experiments immediately from the first round. So bishop, bishop b7, bishop g2, bishop e7, castle short, knight c3. Okay, it's one of the main lines. There's also d5 sacrifice instead of this. I mean, it's all a huge theory there. We'll not look at it now because it's a big line. d5 was played against me. d5 in the previous move was played against me in Gamburg Grand Prix against. I mean, I was playing against Dubov. Had to win the game, and finally didn't win that game, and didn't equalize, so lost the match. And yeah, d5 is a possibility. Certainly, the best way after d5 is to take the pawn, and you know, here take the pawn. Then white goes with knight h4. There are different lines, c6, and so on. In general, ends in some kind of equality, but a very tricky line for both sides. So if black retains the pawn, they're, you know, sometimes better. But to retain the pawn is a problem because white is attacking fiercely, so it's kind of tricky line. So maybe once we'll do some game, you know, on that line and show you some subtleties of the line as well. Okay, so let's say here he went knight c3, and is the more general line, like a classical one. Knight e4. Here queen c2 is possible. Just to remind you that, for example, if after here queen c2, knight takes c3. You want to go knight g5 and win the game kind of immediately and take on b7 and so on. I mean, it doesn't work here because white already castle. So if you want to do this trick, you can do it without the castle, because here black has the nasty knight takes e2, and the point is that after king h1 they take here with the tempo, so then take on g5 and they're one piece up. So queen takes e2 and just bishop takes g2, and black also takes g5 knight, and they're winning. Yeah, that's why this castle short that is played doesn't allow white, you know, to make this trick. But after this they have to play for queen takes c3, and there are many different games here, a lot of classics as well from all times, and I've played this as white as well, so it's a big line as well. I mean, kind of positional line. So yeah, here Nepo goes for bishop d2. I went knight takes d2, is one of the lines I considered interesting, so I went knight takes d2. Knight takes d2 is also possible here. Then black generally goes for c6 after this, trying not to exchange their bishop pair. And yeah, I had a game against Gelfand on this line, and one was black. One was black in Grand Prix in Palma de Mallorca. So I mean, queen takes d2 is normal. d6, e4. Very straight way to play, and you know, white is immediately taking the center controlling it with the pawns and everything, but black has the bishop pair as a compensation for this, and I think it's generally enough compensation for this, so I went knight d7, rook a d1. I remember that a6 was kind of move that I analyzed, but in general c5 is also in the notes, and I've checked, but c5 was also fine. Generally it's a playable position as well. If white tries to play e5 here, for example, then after e5 there's just d takes, bishop takes f3. Queen takes d7 because bishop takes f3, just knight takes e5. Taking this exchange is bad because of, you know, everything is, I mean, beside that, positionally black is just very fine, but knight f3 is also coming now and black is winning. So white has to take on d7, bishop d1 and rook d1, and they're having a good compensation, but in general it's not a problem for black. For example, after rook c8, queen takes a7, rook c7, queen takes b6, rook d7, exchanging almost all the dangerous white pieces and like a queen there, and the rook on the d file, and black is, I mean, completely fine, despite that there are this b2 a2 pawns, 2 pawns for the exchange, but the bishop is very strong, and the rook on the open file, so it's fine for black. Okay, so instead of this, yeah, I went a6. In general, also supports b5 at some point after c5, so kind of useful move. So white tries to play d5 immediately, not to allow c5 and b5. So he goes for d5 immediately here, which is the right way, I guess. But after, yeah, also I didn't show you, but after c5, d5 maybe is the best move in general. Then black can go for e5. Let's say bishop h3, just fast to show you what can happen. a6, trying to play b5, a4, some kind of bishop f6 or bishop g5. Maybe white is slightly preferable, but I don't know. I mean, playing with 2 bishops, maybe I would prefer as black, but unclear position simply. Nothing much to say, just playable middle game. So this was possible. I went a6. Interesting thing is that after d5 that he went in the game, rook f1 is also possible. Then we can play c5 again, or we can play even c6. Also one of the typical ideas here, generally just not deciding what is happening in the center, then just go h6, let's say somewhere maybe e5 or d5, depending on the white's reactions, maybe even b5 and so on. So it's kind of possible. So yeah, after a6 he went d5, trying not to allow any kind of c5s here, because I mean this position just simply is you know, playable for both sides. So d5 is a normal move. Actually I knew that this idea exists generally to exchange the bishop, e7 bishop, but I don't know, maybe I would prefer to play e5 now, just for the practical reasons, keeping the bishop pair, bishop h3, let's say g6, queen e2, now maybe bishop c8 for example, knight e1, bishop f6. It's kind of a normal king's Indian, this one bishop g7 or a5. Let's say knight b5, some bishop g7, then knight f6 is also possible to exchange already the bishops. Then try to play for f5, h5, h4. Just an interesting playable position. Maybe knight c5 is also possible. And then just take everything and play f5. Also okay for black, I think. But instead I went bishop f6, which is a normal move, but maybe less pretentious, you know, to play for kind of fight, hard and unusual in the middle game. So, because I mean, it's not so usual to have the bishop pair in this one. Usually in the King's Indian, white has the black squared bishop. So, yeah, but after this, I've played quite fast bishop f6. I thought that, I remember that this bishop f6 was kind of a possible way, and yeah, but then I disliked my decision somehow. I'll show you now. Just bishop f6, knight d4. Yeah, bishop f6, knight d4. I took here on d4. Maybe e5 was also possible. e5 maybe is also interesting again here. Bishop on f6 is not badly placed because g6, bishop g7, h5. Black is playing a playable King's Indian position with 2 bishops more or less as in every line we saw now, with c5 or without. This is very playable. But I went bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, e5. Also normal. I exchanged the black square bishop that was always hiding behind the pawns. You know, e5, d6. They were kind of restricting the bishop. So here, more or less, I did everything normal. Just exchange this bishop, black squared bishop. Now put the e5 against the white's bishop. I mean, they're having the same problem now with e4, d5, c4. Even though it's not a huge problem, you know, but still having this, you know, better white squared bishop should help normally. So now after e5, queen d2. The only problem for black now is that you know, white has this f4, f5, completely closing both of our bishops, so g2 and b7, and then they can support the play with, you know, putting the pawn here, then support their play with this. So also the reverse king's Indian kind of. So after queen d2, maybe the best way to play here is bishop c8 to start with this. And after f4, maybe I like this kind of move like h6. Maybe after f5 we have also queen g5 in case we want to. Yeah, I mean, we can also go knight f6 simply like f5, knight f6. This is quite useful because black can also at some point go knight h7. It's not so easy to organize immediately on the flank. So let's say knight f6, some a3, bishop d7, some kind of b4, let's say. Now queen e7. Then I want to play with b5, somewhere c6. Rook is coming here. Black is maybe faster than white in organizing their play on the queen's flank. So let's say queen e3, some b5 is possible. c5 is not possible now because of, I mean, it's possible, but after this already you are losing the pawn. But okay, maybe they can take with the queen, then maybe some queen d6. Black is completely fine, I guess, here. It should be okay. So this is maybe the way to play, but instead of this, I've decided to play a bit slowly, queen d7, which is normal, connecting the rooks, but sometimes playing by all the rules is not, you know, like a kind of making the best moves that are there in early books that were saying that you have to, you know, connect your rooks, do everything by the plan. Generally it works, generally it's right, but sometimes there are exceptions, of course, and here I think it was the exception. You don't need this queen e7 in general. But okay, position is still not bad, so f4. Here I went rook fe8. Maybe it was already time to start. I don't know. Somehow I didn't think that he will start to play f5 immediately, so I thought rook fe8, kind of provoking him to do so. But generally, why not b5 immediately, just starting this play? It was kind of possible. C, b, a, b, a3 again, or b. No, a3 not, because bishop a6 is also very good here. I mean, f5 is not played yet, so it's even better version than in the game. So I don't know actually. Okay, let's see if. Yeah, I think a3. Then this, and again I want to sacrifice once he moves the rook, sacrifice this and play rook b8. Kind of very strong play there. Bishop is still bad for white on g2, so yeah, it's very possible. I think it was the best way to play, and let's say after this, a takes, let's say before to close the play there, just knight f6 maybe, or rook fb8, knight f6, rook f2, rook fb8 maybe. Yeah, looks fine. Then bishop c8, bishop d7, sometimes c6. Black's position is fine. Rook is playing on a file, and you know, the position is very solid as well. Should be fine. Okay, but I didn't play this. I played rook e8. He immediately went f5, preparing, as I said, all this stuff. I've played knight f6. Was possible to start with b5 again, but knight f6 I think is okay. So knight f6. Let's see. h3. He could maybe here, the difference could be that he could play maybe a4 to stop this play. Maybe this was kind of possible. Then I can go maybe bishop c8 or maybe c6 even to sacrifice the pawn. Maybe king h8, then play a5, kind of bring my knight to d7 like this. h3, a5, say rook f3, knight d7. Rook df1, f6. Black is preparing for the rook g8 and some g5 to stop this kind of play on the flank. Also very possible. So he went h3, logical to play g4. b5, this is the right way to play because black finally has to start some kind of play, you know, on the flank. Otherwise they'll be smashed by the pawns on g4, g5, a4, closing everything. So they should organize some kind of counterplay. So c takes, a takes, a3, protecting against b4, bishop a6, protecting b5 and trying to play b4. Knight e2. Now it's very interesting because knight a2, he's trying to sacrifice the exchange, bring his knight to c6. In the game he managed this perfectly, but it's because, I mean, my play was as much helpful as possible. So I went b4, not to allow knight b4, otherwise of course I'm much worse. Knight takes b4, bishop f1, rook f1, knight d7. Already I dislike this move because I think queen d8 is the way. Queen d8 is simply the way because I'm bringing my queen finally into the play. In fact, in the game it was out of play for the entire game almost, and got stuck on the 8th rank and was moving there. Queen d8, knight c6, for example, one of the moves. Maybe rook c1 is also possible. Some kind of queen c8, g4, queen a6. Now already, you know, queen is out there having the fresh air. So queen is coming to b6, and you know, we'll start to attack this b2, a3 chain. And well, I mean, I think this is the way. Simply look at black's pieces; they're very nicely placed now. You know, the rooks are doing fine completely. Knight is coming. The queen is out, of course, for the b6 square, and you know, white is not having the dark squared bishop, so there are tricks all the time with this queen. Why not this? Let's say this, and knight d7, rook c1, queen b6. This is very pleasant setup for black. King g2, some knight c5, just so comfortable. f6, of course, you have to watch out for this. Maybe knight c5 is not the only option, but here now h6 saves the day, and black is completely fine. But just in general, I'm just showing you, I mean, there are different ways, of course, to react this attack, but certainly bringing the queen to b8, I mean, this is the way. I think this is the way. b8, c8, b7, I mean b6. These files, attacking the queen's flank immediately. But okay, I didn't play so bad here, but just a normal way of playing it, waiting for white to start something. But I think it was better to do that. Knight d7, queen e3. Here the good way to play would be queen f6. I simply missed this idea in general, to play queen h6 at some point, trying to exchange the queen here. As I said, there is no black squared bishop, so this is always viable option. And this is another way to bring the queen into play. I mean, by means of transferring it to h6. Of course, after g4, we can always go h6 and then play through g5, even a better version for black. Completely fine, but yeah, this was not my intention. My intention was not that bad as well. I went h6. Idea is queen g5 always. h4 not to allow this idea. h4 not to allow queen g5. So this is also normal. Also the play is always there for white, so they're always ready for g4. And now again, maybe it was time to play queen d8, queen c8, queen b7. We already saw it. I'm not going to show it again. Then of course now black has to watch out for this g4, queen g3, g5, all the stuff. I mean, more tricky than before, but still very good. So I went queen f8 instead. My idea somehow was to bring rook instead of queen there, and maybe sacrifice the rook for the knight there on b4 and attack it, because the bishop is quite stupid in these positions against knight. But I didn't manage to do so, but I had a chance. So I went queen f8. He could go g4, but instead he went rook c1 after queen f8. g4, I could go, let's say, rook b8, g5, takes, and takes b4. And after this, bring my queen here. I'm just completely fine. So this would be the way. But he went rook c1. Now already, of course, I had to play rook eb8 according to plan. I wanted, you know, to do all of these things in a super comfortable manner, forgetting that it's a concrete game of, you know, of chess, and you have to be fast to play according to your plan. Even, yeah, it's better to have a plan sometimes, but rather than just making the moves. But in some situations, simply, I mean, okay, it's clear you've got this queen f8, rook fb8, or rook eb8. I mean, and the idea is to play on the queen's flank. Why not to start it? I mean, what is the problem of giving up this c7 for a great activity? And the pieces, of course, this is a bad decision not playing this. Queen d8. Queen is coming back by terms of, you know, sacrificing the pawn. But I mean, I'm organizing my piece play, and with these rooks on the open files, these pawns are not something you would be afraid of. So yeah, this was simply the way. I mean, so stupidly I missed this kind of play. You know, rook c6, just knight c5. Look at the pieces. I mean, they're beautifully placed. Everything is in play. Like it's like you know, it's like a painting. You know, you are looking at it and you see that, okay, now, yeah, okay, of course, forget about these 2 pawns, b2, a3. They are not going to move anywhere. I mean, they're just kind of material compensation to kind of equalize for white, but they will never move forward. Of course, if with black support, they can always move forward, but this is just looks, I mean, so nice. Controlling, the queen is controlling the h4 pawn. There is no threats. There is no threat simply there. Knight c6 is not coming. Bishop is not coming for the huge support here. Black is just completely fine. Rook a4, though position is, I mean, of course, equal. It's not bad for white at all. But from black's perspective, certainly, this is the right way to play. And shouldn't be afraid to sacrifice pawns to organize such kind of play, of course. Instead, I went knight c5. I wanted to do it with comfort. Next move, rook b8. Now knight comes to c6. I went knight d7. More or less, the position is equal there and here, and still white can try something, but they can go knight b4, then again rook e8, of course, yeah. So before he played in the game, which is the way to fight for the advantage. Knight f6 was possible here. H5 was not necessary, but I was always afraid that he will move g4 here somehow. So, for example, if he would play g4 instead of b4, I would have some kind of knight b8 simply. Yeah, this was my main intention. And trying to exchange this because after knight b4 we'll go knight a6 and chase the knight. Yeah, so he went b4, h5, unnecessary at all, rook a1, normal move knight b8, chasing the knight, trying to exchange it. Of course, white is not exchanging the knight, it's more active knight d7, and now bishop f1. Finally, I found a way to sacrifice the rook. Yeah, attacking the pawn again. This is the whole point of sacrifice. So bishop e2, trying to get the h5 pawn. That's why I was telling you that this h5 maybe is not so necessary, but okay, still. Knight takes a6, bishop h5, knight c5, rook b1, rook a4. Okay, all of the white pieces are active, but black's knight is very strong. I mean, it's extremely strong. The problem for black is the king, of course. And here, after the nice idea rook b4, the point is that it's more practical rather than great something for white. But here, of course, I completely missed that after rook b4, I can just go queen a8. I mean, I saw it, but I saw that after f6, I'm kind of lost. But in fact, the threats are nothing in general. Queen g5, now g6. It's possible, one of the ways. But even easier, the computer shows that even with easier ways, I mean, yeah, after g6, okay, let me show you the line first. After g6, I was afraid, of course, of some queen h6 and stuff like that, but yeah, in fact, just rook a1, I mean queen h6 with the point of queen f8, rook b8. So rook a1, forgot that I'm also attacking quite successfully. King f2, knight d3. I in general missed the whole point of this idea. I mean, king e3, queen a7, king d3, queen a3, king c2, and it's the draw by repetition. Yeah, like this, this, and this. So there are some other ways as well for black, but this was completely perfect way. This is the whole idea of black. Yeah, I had to calculate here. Instead, I decided to take on b4, which is a very bad mistake. A takes b4. Knight d7. I thought somehow this knight still compensates for the pawn at least. But of course, this queen a7 that cuts in general all the you know, all the tries with the queen b8 and so on is not so pleasant for black now. So queen c8 was the best move here, and the point of this is interesting. After bishop e2, black can go, for example, knight f6 as well, just staying this and this and this and this. Somewhere c6 is also threatening, and after some kind of b5, for example, black will go knight d7. They're controlling very well the black squares, and it's not so easy to make a progress for white. But instead of this, also possible would be, instead of knight f6, would be kind of c5, maybe. Sorry, not this one, not here, was it? Yeah, it was also here, kind of possible, but I don't know. But another engine, for example, is showing bishop b5 here as kind of a way where white is close to winning. So let's see if it's true. Yeah, say some kind of c7. But okay, it's too complicated. I mean, it's too far as well. No need to play c5. Certainly knight f6 and knight f7 staying at, I mean, knight f6 and then queen c8 is okay, as I showed you after bishop e2 just here. Knight f6. Yeah. And this, and this, this, and this. Yeah, black is kind of trying to keep the position simply by means of organizing kind of fortress. So instead of this, I went Queen D8, King G2, King F8, Queen C8 was better again, Bishop E2, Knight F6. Just show you now the crucial moments. It's not that important, and there is not much of a beauty here. FG, I could go FG here, it would be better. Instead I went Queen C8, kind of trying to complicate it in the time trouble. King G2, G7 was possible for white to have the better structure, but King G2 is also possible. FG, Bishop F3, organizing the pieces there. Easy to play with white, of course. Black is only having the pawn down and the weaknesses in their camp, so I went Queen D8, even though King G7 would be better. You know, B5, now trying to play B6, King H6, Queen E3, King G7 back. Kind of trying to keep the position. Very hard, but still some chances. So I went Queen D8, Queen E3, King G7, Queen G5. Now I went Queen E8. I wanted to organize some kind of counterplay, maybe. G4, and now the best way to keep this position would be Queen B5. Actually, I played this for playing Queen B5. Why not? I mean, why not Queen B5 if you are playing it for it? But I think I was afraid of H5, as far as I understand. Now Queen E8, and suddenly Black's position become good, because after H6 that I was probably afraid of from far. There is King F7. And even though this looks scary, but okay, beside being scary, there is also a calculation in chess. So after Queen C1, just play Queen D8, very strong, and then Knight H7. And in fact, Black is blockading the pawn. It's equal position, even according to comp, it's completely equal. So this Queen B5 was a good chance, very good chance. So he shouldn't maybe go G4 here and play something else, Queen C1 or whatever. But yeah, after this Queen B5 would be a chance. Instead, I went Queen F7. Stupidly defending it like I don't have any chance, like, you know, desperately somehow, you know, without even going forward somehow. Yeah, this is a very bad way to play, and of course I was upset about this game after the day one. But there was one more game, so later we will see, that added to this. So Queen D7, King G3. Better way to play would be some Queen D8, then Knight H7, Knight F8. Knight would be a better place here on F8, protecting G6. You know, this kind of fortress, but not so easy to win. Actually, I was checking, it's not so easy to win. There are ways for white to try, but it's not easy at all. So it would be a good chance with the right defense. But I've played Knight G8 stupidly, just putting my knight in the worst possible square. This is kind of play on the second, so very bad one. Yeah, so conclusion is that you shouldn't play on the seconds, and get better with the time, of course, in such controls, especially against top players. Yeah, because without the time and in kind of complicated position, it's very hard to to get out of the problems, and in general any complication may lead to any result. So even in a winning position you can miss a lot. So G5, Queen D8, Bishop G4, Knight E7. Where is it going? Just a question, you know. Where is it going? Okay, Queen D8. He could play better because he played Bishop G4, allowing this Queen B8. Instead, he should go for Queen C6, Queen B7 kind of stuff here. Like Queen C6, Queen B7 maybe. First, neutralize my queen. But after Bishop G4, he gave me a chance here, Bishop G4. But I played Knight E7. So, of course, Queen B8 is the way. Still probably losing, but at least this kind of way. Then playing Knight E7 somewhere, trying to play C6, maybe somewhere Queen F8 back. Depending on what white does here. So maybe Queen A7. King H8, then trying some kind of perpetual, since at some point give up some piece or try to perpetual, but yeah, not a big chance, but a chance, of course, compared to what I played. Knight E7 is a very bad move. So Bishop E6, white is just mating. Queen is coming to F1. Queen F8, trying to set some last tricks. B5, I'm in Zugzwang more or less, nothing to do. Queen A8, Queen F1, Queen E8. This is a just last moves before resigning. King H7 and H5. And here I had to resign. Was a very bad start to the tournament. And immediately after this I had to play the second game. And the second game was with white against Vachier Lagrave. And I will look at it in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the next videos. I will do all of my games from this tournament, and then we will move to the other games from the tournament. As I said, thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and till the next video. Bye bye.